Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I am super beyond excited for this video because I didn't even know that I was going to be filming it today, but I went out to check my mail this afternoon and I had the Menagerie Cosmetics Killer Purr palette. I pre-ordered this and I was on the website as soon as it launched. I clicked out and checked out so fast, so I was so excited about it. And I was waiting, like desperately waiting for the shipping notification. I was even on my account this morning trying to make a new account because they changed websites. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't remember my old password. Like, it was a mess, and I was like, whatever, like, I'll just wait. Like, I was looking for a shipping number or whatever, but whenever I opened my mailbox and I saw this, I was so excited because I wasn't expecting it to be here today. So I thought I would go ahead and film a first impression, try out the palette, do some swatches, and see how it performs. I really love Menagerie Cosmetics. They're such a cool indie brand. I have all of their palettes except for the courtship. So I have the Dragon Child, the Feral, the Whale Song, the Violet Ink. They're all so beautiful. So I fell in love with this color scheme. I love their packaging. I'm excited. So here's what the packaging looks like on the outside, which does not match the inside. And I thought it was cute on the back here. It says, "The lion symbolizes strength, courage, and might. We curated a variety of shades inspired by lions in their natural habitat." And then it says it's talc-free, cruelty-free, and vegan. It's made in Washington, and it has 24 grams of product. Menagerie Cosmetics also donates a portion of their sales to a animal wildlife refugee something. Sometimes they help some animals somewhere. I always forget what the actual name of the charity is called, but I'll leave their website down below in case you want to check it out and learn more about that. But here is the palette, which again is so beautiful. It's got like a really nice glossy finish, and here's the back, which matches very well with me today, which was purposeful. So I just think it's so cute. I love that all their palettes are animal themed. I like that they went ahead and did that little niche. So here is the inside of the palette. So the top is kind of like this cool little pattern. There is no words on here, which is kind of disappointing because the Whale Song one has the fact that, what was it? It was something like the whale's tongue weighs more than the average human or something crazy. I don't even remember what the fact is, but every time I open it up, it makes me giggle. So it would have been cool to see something there. Like, I don't even know. I don't know. Did you know, actually, here's your fact. Did you know that when a lion is fixed, like snip snip, he loses his mane? I learned that when I was younger, when I went to a zoo in Georgia, because their mane it has something to do with their testosterone or something. I don't know the science behind it, but I thought that was really interesting because you rarely see a male lion without a mane and think oh, that's a male lion, but it can happen if there's a little snip snip. So anyways, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. You're probably like, I just want to talk about makeup. I'm sorry. So here is the color scheme. There are only 2 shimmer shades in here, which I wish that maybe there had been one more just to make a little bit of a better balance based on how I personally do my makeup. So there's a lighter gold and a bronzier gold. And then there is so many different matte options. There's like this really bright yellow matte, which I think actually looks super interesting. There's some warmer tones. There's like a baby poop. This is almost like it kind of looks like a peach, but more muted. And then there's some cool tones. There's some pops of the bright teal and the bright green, which is called baobab. Baobab. I'm going to have to look that up and see how that's pronounced. So I think the color scheme is really beautiful. It's definitely kind of just a fun mix, a fun twist on a neutral palette, which I'm about. And whenever I ordered this, I was like head over heels, like right in my, the beginning of my fascination with owning the Natasha Denona Gold palette. And I'm like, I need all the neutrals with greens. So that's why I pre-ordered it. I mean, I think I would have either way, but I fell in love with this color scheme because I love there's that pairing of neutrals, mustardy browns, and greens. It's like, how many palettes can I have that I'll do the same thing with? But it's fine. So let's just go ahead and do some swatches. Okay, so first we have Drought, which looks to be a really light yellow matte shade, which I honestly really like that that's there because I feel like I don't know, I feel like it's very unique. I don't know if I have any colors like that in any other palettes or any singles. I don't know, just a really light yellow matte. And then there is Cub, which I'm kind of curious feeling these because based off those two, they didn't feel as soft as some of the other Menageries, because some of their mattes just tend, well, most of their mattes actually tend to be extremely soft, very, very delicate, and lots of kickback, so you have to tap off your brush and just be careful. But the swatches don't feel, I mean, they still feel creamy, but they don't feel quite as soft. And then next we have the Hunt, which is a nice warm orange. Huh. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit surprised right now. Because normally the Menagerie mattes are so, like I said, so creamy that they're like extremely pigmented, and those swatches almost look a little lackluster. They're not bad, and I'm sure I could try and build them up, but I'm just surprised. It's not exactly what I would expect from Menagerie based on the other shadows that I've tried. But I'm gonna wait to judge. Maybe they changed it. Maybe they're trying to do less kick up. So we'll wait and see how it goes on the eyes. But next we have the shade Prowl, which is the lighter gold, which feels good. It's a little bit chunky, but it's nice metallic. It almost looks like it has just, I don't know. It looks like it has the tiniest little bit of like a peachy shift going through it, but it's very subtle. And then there is Chase, which that one feels a little bit more soft. It's a really pretty light peachy shade. All right, next we have Antelope, which is the gray. That one felt pretty, oh, that's kind of a cool color. It's not actually, it's not quite the gray that I thought it would be. It's kind of like a murky brown. Okay, next we have the green Bob. I need to Google that, but I'm like kind of under a time constraint because my child is sleeping and it took me a while to get to filming this today. So that one feels really nice. That one felt pretty creamy, looks really cool. I'm really hoping that it doesn't stain. And then there is Pride, which is a deeper, rich brown, and then Mighty Roar. I feel like looking at those two, I mean, you can see a difference. Mighty Roar is a little bit, like it has a little bit more of a purpley tone to it versus Pride has more of like a warm brownness, but I feel like, I don't know if both of those shades were necessary together. I'm curious to see how different they'll look on the eye. But maybe that's just the brown hater in me. A brown is a brown is a brown. Then for the last three, we have Lioness, which feels pretty soft. Again, a little bit chunky. That's kind of what to expect with their metallic formula. Then there is Mane and Watering Hole, which I love that they did that. See, that looks, I don't know, that doesn't look the level of pigmentation I'm used to with Menagerie. That looks good. Oh, that shade didn't even like swatch. What the heck? Okay. Oh my gosh. Did you see that? I'm kind of disappointed just from swatching because I love their formula so much. I'm trying not to judge until I get it on the eyes. I might regret this because I know I'm going to end up staining myself, but I have the Whale Song palette here. So if I had to compare the closest thing to Watering Hole, I don't know. Maybe I'll do this shade right here called Barnacle. So I'll show you exactly what I'm going to do. Here's Barnacle, just a quick little circle. There's what that looks like. You can see how opaque it is. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing with Watering Hole. Quick little circle. Okay, so there's the two shades next to each other. I don't know if you can see the difference already. What am I doing? Here, I guess I'll do it right here. Again, I'm going to regret this because these are going to stain, but there's Barnacle. And there's Watering Hole. All right, so there are all the swatches. Alright, so I just scrubbed as hard as I possibly could, and my hand's definitely a little bit stained. I think it's kind of interesting looking at my two green finger swatches that the new Killer Purr definitely stained more despite being much less pigmented. So let's just go ahead and jump on into the eye look. I already primed my eyes with Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Canvas in the shade Illustrate. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start off with this shade. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and start off with the yellowy shade called Drought. And I'm going to pop that into my crease to start off with. Just curious because it swatched a little bit sheer how much that would show up on the eyes. It's definitely just like a really soft yellow. I think it's a cool color to add. I'm really curious to see that color swatched on a deeper skin tone and used on a deeper skin tone. Just because I think when I don't know if they released swatches on a deep skin tone when they did the pre-order. I'm actually kind of having to rub my brush in the pan, which is very strange for Menagerie because normally it's like a little, like the tiniest dip ever, and then I'm like... Alright, next I'm going to go ahead and take this shade right here, which is called Cub. Again, tapping in and only getting the tiniest amount of kickback. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that into my crease. Just building that up, trying to get the most that I can out of that color. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Watering Hole. I really am so curious to see how this will look on the eyes. Again, I'm having to kind of rub my brush in to pick up product. It's not just, it's barely any kick up. Just starting that off in my outer V. Just going to go ahead and blend that in. Okay, well, I'm happy that it is showing up at least, because I was a little bit nervous from the swatch. It's picking up with the brush. It's blending okay, but I'm not personally a huge fan of the change of formula because I can already tell just from the way that this looks on the eye here. There's just something I've described about Menagerie's formula in the past and their mattes and how they just have this depth to them, this like creaminess that's incredible. And that's why like they can take a color scheme that has already been done and I'll still want to reach for their colors because they just look so intense and just there's just something about them. Like the Whale Song mattes, like yeah, they stain, yeah, they have kick up, but they look phenomenal on the eye. Whereas this just looks a lot more thin, if that makes a difference, but it's blending, so I'm not completely disappointed. Alright, I'm just going to go in with my previous brush and blend over the edge. Kind of want to try and deepen it up a little bit. I'm going to go into this brown shade right here called Mighty Roar. And I'm just going to pop that on the outer V. Just going to try and keep it a little bit more concentrated. Okay, I think I like the way those two are blending together. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take this green right here and I'm going to pop that on the outer part of my lower lash line. Just kind of blending it a little bit. I mean, I'm looking at the eye look and I do think it's pretty. I think everything is performing okay. Do really like that color, that green. Alright, for my lid, I'm going to go ahead and apply this shade right here called Prowl, and I'm just going to use my finger. I don't know, I feel like this is kind of... Shimmer formula feels a little, like, sheer, almost. Like, for applying that with my finger. doesn't feel as intense, but I'm just going to kind of build it up a little bit. I don't know about that. Looks a little chunky. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of the coppery shade Lioness on my finger as well. And I'm going to put that in the middle. Just kind of blending between. I think that a really pretty green, like grungy green shimmer would have been nice with this color scheme. Would have added a lot of variety. I'm just going to go in with the brush I used for my outer V. Just blend. For my inner corner, I thought it'd be cool to go ahead and start off with Drought and use that as like the base, just to add like a really light yellowness to the look. I did clean off the brush I was just using for my lower lash line, and it was a little bit wet, but I kind of let it dry, but it's kind of in between, so I think it's amplifying the color a little bit. So I'm going to pop that onto my inner corner. Oh yeah, just a little bit wet. Makes it extra intense. All right, so I think that looks pretty cool actually. So I would say overall I like the look, but I'm not sure. Every step of the way it's been a little interesting. So I'll give you my thoughts at the end, but I don't really want the inner corner to be left matte, I don't think. So I'm gonna go into my Terra Moon shadows, and I'm gonna grab this shade, which is called Saturn's Rings. I'm just gonna pick that up on the same brush and tap it over top, just to add, oh yeah, add a little something something. But it still has that really cool yellow base from the Menagerie palette. Okay, so really quickly off camera, I'm going to go ahead and throw on the Linda Halberry Happy Mood pencil and the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I actually went ahead and mixed Likeable Mood and Happy Mood together from Linda Halberry just to get like that orangey yellow combination. I don't know, I was being a little bit indecisive today. But I thought for highlighter I would go ahead and try the Solar Sailor highlight from Kaleidos. I'm so excited about these. These are their new Space Age highlighters, I think is what the official name is. They accidentally sent me a box that didn't have a highlighter in it, so I only got the 5 instead of the 6, and I'm waiting for, they sent me the tracking, I'm pretty sure, for the 6th one, and whenever I get that, I'll go ahead and do a face swatch video, which I'm super excited about, but I thought I would just try out the yellowy one today because I had a feeling it would go with this whole vibe. So here is what it looks like. I did just do it like the tiniest little swatch a minute ago because I was curious, but I'm excited. So I just picked up a tiny little bit. Ooh, oh goodness. That is very yellow. Reminds me of Give Me Glow Halo. Kind of that like super bright yellow with more of like the cool toned like bluey base, but it's not quite as dark because I can pull this off. You can't see it very much when I face forward, whereas Give Me Glow Halo is a little bit too dark for my skin tone. That's cool. Oh, I just realized I forgot to put blush on. Good job, Amy. Alright, so that looks really pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and that's not my blush drawer. I really want to do something, I want to do something warm. I feel like, you know how some people have like these giant closets and they walk into them and they're like, I have nothing to wear. That's me when I go through my blush drawer. I have like 50 blushes here and I'm like, I don't know if I have anything. I found it. I have the Morphe 8W blush palette, which is all warm tones. I was sent this through Octoly. I kind of want to go in with Provocative. Goodness, okay. I'm just gonna blend that out. No, I was just feeling like a really warm, flushing cheek with this. Last but not least, I'm going to finish off with the Kylie liquid lipstick in the shade Pumpkin. Alright y'all, so this is the finished look. Let's just go ahead and jump on into my thoughts on the palette thus far. So overall, I would say that I think everything performed all right. I do like the fact that the mattes now have less kick up. I think that a lot of people will enjoy that because in the past their shades have had a crazy amount of kick up, but at the same time, I guess it's kind of like a bargaining because now there's less kick up, but there's also less pigmentation, and just the way that watering hole looked on the eye, it didn't feel like Menagerie Cosmetics to me and what I've grown to love. So it is a little bit of a disappointment because I love their old formula so much, but that doesn't necessarily mean that this is a bad palette. You could like this formula more. It's just personal preference. I think that everything's still blended, everything's still applied well. I had to build it up a little bit, but it's fine. Like it worked out, and I do like the overall look. I think that it is an interesting color scheme, and I really, like I said, I really like the shade Drought. If you wet it, it really makes it a lot brighter, and I think that that would be a really cool shade to do an all matte eye look and then do Drought all over the lid. So I can't give my final thoughts on this. Obviously, it's just a first impression, but I feel like I really need to get to know this palette more. Sometimes when you use a brand's palettes for so long and you review it, like Juvia's Place, for example, their formula stays pretty consistent, so I can use it one time and kind of have my thoughts on it. Whereas this, because it's kind of a little bit of a curveball, I feel like I need to get to know it a lot more. I do not love these shimmers. I've never been like the biggest fan of Menagerie shimmers. They've had some that I've liked, some that I didn't. Sometimes they're super smooth, sometimes they're flaky, but I just felt like both of these were kind of flaky, and the way that they look on the eyelid, it's not the most flattering look, and I would say pretty youthful eyes. So I think for someone out there who does have texture, wrinkles, lines on your eyelids, these are not going to be flattering shimmers, so that's something to keep in mind. Also, again, there are only 2 shimmers, so that's not my favorite ratio. So I don't know, I'm kind of back and forth with this palette a little bit, but I do like the overall color story. I think it's fun, so I'm going to keep using it. I'll get back to you in the future, but I definitely do feel like they changed their formula. It is different 100% for the mattes. So I'm really, really curious to see some other people that I know love Menagerie talk about this palette and see what their thoughts are, and if they have the same experience as I do, because I feel a little crazy right now because I was so excited going into this video. I'm sure you guys could see it from the intro, and now I'm kind of like, nah, like it's not, I don't know, I just think the Menagerie matte formula, so rich, so buttery, so creamy, and then I use this and I'm like, but why? Why? Especially when it's stained even more. So I don't know. I don't know. Alright, so that's everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.